Hi everyone and welcome back. So I do apologize for the last three videos. I saw that my audio was a little scuffed. It should be fixed now, but again, I do apologize for that. But anyways, today we're going to be talking about units and how we can actually do stuff with them. Where we last left off, we had the base units in here. They're at Les Critics or whatever you call it. But the thing is, though, we need to try to make this more lively. Obviously, we're fighting conventional military, so we should try to reflect that. So how can we do that? Well, very simply. What we're going to be doing is if we go down to the search bar, we're going to type in AMB. And we're simply going to be looking for ambient patrol spawn point and the side we're going to be working with. In this case, it's USSR. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be placing a couple of these. You're just going to move and drag very simply. We're just going to put down 3 elements. All right. Now we're going to go and click on the first one over here on the left hand side. And we're going to go over to ambient spawn point component on the right. Now here, let me go ahead and open this up a little bit more. We have plenty of things that we can work with. We can go ahead and change the group type. For instance, let's have fire team. We can go ahead and change around their waypoints. We'll talk about in a second. But in this case, let's go ahead and set these all to riflemen, except for the last group. We're going to make them an AT just to spice things up. Now we need to tell them what to do. So if we click on the magnifying glass on default waypoint prefab, we're going to find waypoint defend anything. So you have waypoint defend CP, which is default 100 meters. You have large, which if we drag and drop, we can see it's only about 75 meters. But what we're going to be doing here is we're just going to pull and defend CP, since it's exactly 100. The reason why we're keeping it 100 is because our base radius is set that. If you wanted to change the radius, you can simply go to the right, scroll down, and you're going to look for completion radius. And here you can always expand it. So for instance, if we had a base radius of 150, we can set that to 150 and bam. So basically what this is going to be doing is going to be telling the AI in this area that you must stay within 100 meters. You can patrol within 100 meters, but you cannot leave this. So for example, if they're getting shot from the outside area, they will return fire, but they won't pursue and try to flank. So you want to keep some guys on defend to kind of keep it more lively. So you make things a little bit more challenging for the player base, that kind of stuff. Very simple. Anyways, we're going to go ahead and nest these defends into these USSR units. So I'm going to just go ahead and drag and drop as such. And there we go. Now we got a little more units that are able to defend this point instead of the base ones. Now, if we go over to the right again, let's go ahead and talk about respawn period. So this respawn period basically tells the units after so many seconds that whole entire group is going to respawn. Obviously, if you're going to have defenders, I wouldn't recommend putting a respawn, because what can happen is you'll take this point and you'll move on, and then all of a sudden, boom, these defenders will respawn exactly where they're at right now. So it's going to annoy people. Unfortunately, nesting these into lacrosse, let me just go and grab these here. And you can go ahead and grab multiple by holding down left shift and click on them. And then you click and drag, nest them in. Unfortunately, if you nest them in here, and if the point is now under control by the US or another faction, it's not going to disable. They will keep respawning and stuff. I tried messing with it. We haven't really found a solution. If anyone knows a way to kind of do that where we can try to simulate a QRF thing more efficiently, then please let me know, because that's something I've been trying to work on for hundreds of hours. Anyways, let's continue. So we have defending units. What if we want like a unit patrolling around? Let's say we want like a fire team walking around in this area. All right. Well, simply put, we're going to put A and B again. If this pops up like this, make sure you click on prefabs, because a lot of the stuff here is going to be working underneath the prefabs folder, just to let you guys know. So if anytime you get lost, just look for that. And we're going to do ambient patrol spawn USSR. We're going to pop that down there. Ambient, we're going to go into ambient patrol spawn point component. We're going to switch this to fire team. We're going to click the magnifying glass to bring up our waypoints. And where we're looking here is going to be AI waypoint patrol. And it's in here somewhere. And if worst comes to worst, what we can do is we can just type in waypoint. If I can spell AI waypoint _ patrol. So we have two. We have hierarchy and we have patrol itself. Let's go and take a look at both of them. So I'm going to just place both these down so we can take a look. So AI patrol, as we can see, traceable, visible, like simple move only, difference, move type, you know, that kind of stuff. We can go ahead and change things up. Completion radius, it doesn't really matter, but you can go ahead and bring that up. Very simple. If we look at patrol hierarchy, kind of the same thing. Not much has changed. So really you can place down either or and it's perfectly fine. So we're just going to do hierarchy just because. Okay, so we have our first waypoint here. Let's go ahead and put some elsewhere. Let's go and put one here. Let's go and put one up over here. We're just going to have these guys circling the objective. And then what I'm going to do here to ensure everything works correctly is I'm just going to put a cycle right where the unit spawns at. We're going to take all these points here and we're going to nest it into the element. Now, if you want, like, if you're not doing a box and you want the AI to patrol in a certain way, like let's say I want these guys to patrol to the landfill and then back. Don't put your points starting from where you put down your unit. For instance, I'm not going to put down some points like starting here and move them this way. You want to do it backwards. For some reason, Reforger likes having their patrol stuff backwards. So if you want them to go like from back and forth kind of thing, you can simply start at landfill if they're spawning in this little opening right here. And then you want to put your cycle back where that unit is. So they're just going to keep going back and forth. So just keep that in mind. Work backwards if you want them to do a certain shape that's not a square. Very simple. So now we got our waypoint. So now these guys are going to be patrolling around the sector. Now, what's the difference between patrol and, let's say, some other observation stuff that they have, other waypoints? Well, very simply, patrol is a patrolling element. I hate to say it so simply, but basically, in the military, if you patrol and you see or hear something, you would report it and investigate. So these guys are going to be walking around. If they hear gunfire, if they hear an engine, if they see the enemy faction, they will break off from their patrol and engage in flank. So what's really nice about this, for example, let's say if we wanted like a counteroffensive, but not go directly into the point and just only move in if there's like a blue 4 or an enemy faction, you can just set up these patrols, and once they start hearing or seeing something, they'll break off and they'll start engaging. And you're going to keep things relaxed. Very simple. They're just going to be there, just going to be walking around, not doing anything until something happens. So there's your main difference. And of course, let's say you want these guys to respawn after a period. Well, since it's in seconds, if I want to have these guys respawn every 45 minutes, it's going to be 2,700 seconds. So you can just put it right in here and voila. So every 45 minutes after this whole entire unit is wiped out, they will respawn back on this point. So that's the basic bottom line of units, and there's a reason why we're using ambient patrols. So for instance, if I go ahead and I search through here, Arma Reforger, let's go down to prefabs. We're gonna go find, I'm trying to find it here. We're gonna go to groups, op4. And if we, for instance, grab just an element in here, what's going to happen is that these guys are going to permanently stay here. Ambient patrols will spawn in once players are near. I think it's like 800 meters or a click. 1,000 kilometers for you weirdos out there. Anyways, so basically if you're going to have like a lot of stuff going on, you're doing more PvE, you want to have more AI, you're going to want to do ambient patrols. They will actually stay in the background. Kind of if anyone played Arma 3 Liberation, a lot of the units there were in the background. And if you go into Zeus, you'll see that they'll be spawned in. They'll have the unit icon above their head, but they're not going to be spawned in. So it's going to save you a lot of resources, and it's going to help against, servers crashing or getting slowed down. But do keep in mind, if you are creating a server and you are doing something pretty awesome, make sure you don't tell people to go all over the map if you have, like, let's say 200, 300 units, because you will actually cause things to get bogged down. But anyways, just keep that in mind as you're making stuff. But that's it about units. Of course, there's a lot more you can work with. I highly recommend experimenting, putting things down. For instance, before I go, I'm going to tell you guys one little thing. So here we got a PKM nest. If a unit is set to defend, they will actually man any turrets. They'll actually be kind of smart. They'll go ahead and find cover and stuff. Unfortunately, with a 1.2 update, units will not go into the turrets of vehicles. If you set them on defend, I'm still trying to see how I can do it. I've been trying to work around because I would love to set up a a vehicle with a unit that spawns and get into it, and then I start a patrol. But however, I spent the past 2-3 hours trying to figure that out, and I still haven't. So if anyone has found a solution, please let me know in the comments down below.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you learned something today, go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. And if there's something that you'd like to see as a tutorial, please let me know. Also, be sure to check out my Twitch. I sometimes do dev streams from time to time, so you might be able to learn something from there. Anyways, take it easy. Bye-bye.